1995 and round one in Spain of the World 250cc Motocross World Championship. Stefan Everts' bike here, number 2, the JHK Silkeling Kawasaki rider, hoping possibly to win the championship this year. Number 11, the Chesterfield Yamaha of Andre Bartolini, the Italian. The two Johnsons Bieffe Suzukis of Werner de Witt and Monique Bevorts, as the riders came down onto the line for their pre-start inspection. Robbie Herring just then, that's Monique Bevorts with Pedro Tractor and Bob Moore, the current World 125 motocross champion. Stefan, as it says on his pants, Everts, hoping to make that a number 1 for 1996. But it's a long season and it's a lot of racing to go, as the green flag went up to get the riders onto the line for the first moto of 1995. Number 3, the Frenchman, the Fly, Yves Desmarais. Number 12 on the RWJ's Honda, that's Robbie Herring, the British rider. Well, a large crowd turned out here in Spain to herald the start of a new motocross season in the 250 class, as the riders got ready then, as the ball went up for the start of race 1. Gate dropped, they all got safely away into that first right-hand corner. Who will it be that gets the first whole shot of the season? Over the big hill, they go down the other side, and it looks like the German Pit Byra. Yes, indeed, 43 Byra that heads the first race of 1995. Horton's behind it, only just going through the American. And there is Stefan Everts, number 2, the Belgian, the 22-year-old, chasing this championship once again. Twice the bridesmaid to the South African Greg Albertine. Albertine has now gone to race in America, but it's a German Byra then that leads, with Bevorts and a Spanish rider. Behind him, Giuseppe Alonso in 3rd. That'll keep the local crowd more than happy. There is Desmarais. But Byra it is at the moment that heads, and Alonso goes up into 2nd. And you can hear the reaction of the crowd to that. Bevorts, then Poland, then 52. That's Leon Gisbers going through. Desmarais alongside 33, Miska Altonen. Bob Moore then with Stefan Everts. Moore, the current World 125 champion, hoping to maybe add the 250 crown to his list of achievements in this year. Wait and see. There is Desmarais, hotly tipped to do very well in this championship. British rider Kurt Nichol behind him. There's Moore chasing Stefan Everts. It really was a tussle between these two. Underneath goes Moore around the outside. Has he out-jumped Everts on the tabletop? I think yes, indeed he has. So Bob Moore, the American, moves up a place, demotes Everts down 1. But into the lead goes number 4, Monique Bevorts. Now the front runner for the Johnsons Bieffe Suzuki team, now that Albertine has gone to America. Can Bevorts take another championship for Suzuki? But the battles were on behind. Desmarais absolutely flying. Bevorts at the top. Then it was the American talent Voland. 43 Byra, been off the bike, back on it again, circulating down in the lower positions. But to the checkered flag, it was the Belgian rider, number 4, Monique Bevorts on Suzuki, that took the race win. Talon Voland chased him home in 2nd, then Desmarais in 3rd. With Belgium, America and France, the top 3 from race 1, they came down onto the line then for race 2. Up goes the board. Who this time will it be that gets the whole shot? Can Byra do it again? And it was this time Bevorts from number 70, Alonso, the Spanish rider, getting another tremendous start. But Everts up in the top 6. Bevorts at the moment running away with this second race. Really is determined to prove the faith that's been placed in him by the Johnson's BFE team. Can he win a World Championship once again for Suzuki? Round 1 this is here in Spain. Bevorts winning the first race, leading the second, but there's a lot going on behind him. Down goes Bader Monet, and look at this for a battle between the two Chesterfield boys. Bartolini and Bob Moore, and well, Bartolini, high side, hits the fence and tips him off the bike. Andre Bartolini making a big mistake there. But no mistakes from this man, the Belgian, Monique Bevorts at the front. Leading on now Kurt Nickel, number 5 on the HRC Honda. But it's Bevorts on course for his second win of the day. Nickel still there behind him in second. Then Stefan Everts in third. A rostrum place for Everts in this race. Bob Moore, 41 behind him in fourth. First, oh, and Moore's got it all wrong. In almost exactly the same place that Bartolini, his teammate, threw it away. Moore's done very much the same. Very nearly the same corner, almost the same place on the corner. They both made that mistake. Well, 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 what can one say as Bevorts looks over his shoulder to see where second place man is, comes over the rise and takes the checkered flag. Win 2. Nickel, the British rider on the Honda, comes home to take second. And third then for the Belgium, number 2, Stefan Everts. Round 2 of the 250 Championship moved over to Holland. Monique Bevorts, number 4, just settles himself down. There is Demarier, the Frenchman, and he's got a problem that looks like no rear brake, and he's not happy. One would not be at all surprised at that. You can't ride a Grand Prix race with just one brake, and the front one at that, very difficult. But nevertheless, we'll see what goes on. There's Bevorts, a double-headed winner in Spain. He's got 40 points, leads the championship at the moment. The gate drops. Here they go, round 2 gets underway, heat 1, and it's Werner de Witt from Talon Boland, from Everts, Nickel. Those are the top ones going through. Pedro Tractor just goes through. There's Demarier, minus that brake. 11, Andre Bartolini. And we're looking back. There's Moore, 41. Not a good start for the American. In the 250 Championships, 1995, the current 125 champion, hoping to make it another title. But it's Boland, the American, that has gone into the lead. De Witt down to second. Everts is third. Nickel is fourth. Nickel, second in the championship, 28 points. Level with Demarier coming into this round. 22, this is Jamie Scavenells. The crowd watch on. Bartolini, number 11, coming through, the first of the 2 Chesterfield men. And a battle on behind. Number 33, Mr. Altonen amongst that group. 23, that was Mark Eastwood, the British rider. And look at De Witt, he's going for the lead, he's got it. Goes under Boland, there's Everts, so we've got a Belgium in first and a Belgium in third. British rider Kurt Nickel back there in fourth. Boland must be wondering what's going on, he's being ganged up on at the moment. Pedro Tractor, number 71. Leon Gisbers, I think it is, behind him, number 70. As the rest of the ensuing pack sort themselves out. But now it's Everts' turn to have a scrap with Talon Boland. The 2 teammates, the JHK Silkening Kawasaki riders. Talon Boland, the American, Stefan Everts, number 2, the Belgium. And Boland has pulled away from Everts. Remy van Ries, the 3rd member of the JHK Silkening team. There is De Witt. And there is Nickel. But in the lead, it's now the Belgian, Stefan Everts, number 2. So Holland has dropped back, so has DeWitt. There is Holland, he's second. Van Rees then, number 67, third. So the two JHK boys on the challenge. There's Tractor, 71. There's Gisbers, number 70. The second of the Chesterfield Suzuki men. Number 5, HRC Honda, British, Kurt Nickel. Has forsaken his national championships for 1995 to concentrate on the World Championships. And so far, things are not going so bad. Bartolini goes through, encouraged by his crew. Monique Bavorts, double-headed winner in Spain. Not a good time for him here. More behind him with Eastwood closing rapidly on the American. Stefan Everts, number 2 it is then, to the delight of the crowd here in Holland, takes race 1. Boland, his teammate, second. And third then for 67, Van Rees. JHK 1, 2 and 3. Who could hope for more? Race 2 on its way. Here it is, gate drops. Who this time is it going to be that gets the whole shot? They are sliding and slithering into that chicane. We've got some riders down. And at the moment I can't see who they are, but it looks like Everts that's taken the whole shot. Yes, indeed, the Belgian wins race 1, on target to win race 2. That's Demarier behind him in second place, number 3, the Frenchman, but it's Everts in the sand here in Holland that has got away. Demarier chased by Gisbers, then Pedro Tractor, there's Kurt Nickel, and he's got DeWitt right beside him. Everts settles down into a rhythm here. Demarier under pressure from Tractor. Gisbers and Nickel going through. It's anybody's race at the moment. There's Monique Bavorts, unable to repeat his success in Spain. Bob Moore trying to settle down on the 250. Finding life just a little bit more difficult. There's his teammate, number 11, Bartolini. And we've got somebody off, and that looks like Bavorts. Monique Bavorts, it would appear, I think the chain has broken, and this is a fuel stop. First time we've ever seen this Grand Prix fuel stop. Kurt Nickel comes in to top up the tank, gets back out again, but I don't think it's going to make that much difference. Everts it is then that leads and takes the checkered flag in race 2. 40 points, 2020. It's a double header for the Belgium. DeWitt comes home in second place. And third for Demarier. Well, round 3 of the 250 Championship came across to Switzerland. Bob Moore, the American, settles himself down beside Werner DeWitt. Kurt Nickel, third in the championship at the moment with 46 points. Stefan Everts leads the championship, 61 points. A back-to-back win at the previous round in Holland. 15-second board goes up. This will be the first heat of round 3. The Swiss 250 Grand Prix gets underway. The gate drops, here they go. Who has got that all-important hole shot? We've got somebody down, and it is Bartolini from DeWitt, from Bob Moore, from Demarier and Everts and Bavorts. There's Nickel, buried a little deeper down. Scavenels has just gone through there. Number 9, that's Bollet, the French youngster. Frederic Bollet, number 9. But the battle is on at the front now as DeWitt takes the lead from Chesterfield's Bartolini with Moore behind him, his teammate. And then Demarier, the Frenchman, shadowing those 3. It really is almost anybody's race at the moment. Look at the flags. We're here in Switzerland. And it's Demaria that takes the lead. DeWitt to second, Bartolini to third, Moore to fourth, Everts is fifth, and Bevorts is sixth. Just look at the Frenchman, the fly. Looked after this year by former French 250 world champion Jackie Vimont, quieting the man down, getting his head into racing, and you can see the difference. It's Demaria, number 3, that leads on Yamaha. Then DeWitt on the Johnson Suzuki, then Chesterfield's Bob Moore. We have lost Bartolini. There he is, just going through, so he's dropped back a little bit, now down behind Monique Bevorts. But the Frenchman, many are tipping to take the championship this year, leads. Bob Moore going through now in second place. The battle is on between the two Johnsons, Bieffe Suzuki teammates, DeWitt and Bevorts. There's Talon Volan, the American. Volan currently second in the championship with 50 points coming into this third round. 71, Pedro Tractor, the Dutchman. But it is the checkered flag then for the Frenchman, with Moore, the American, right on his tail. Then third place, it was Bevorts. Everts beaten on the line down into fourth. A really exciting first race of the day as the riders line up for Heat 2 of round 3 here in Switzerland of this 250cc World Motocross Championship. Gate drops, who's it going to be? And it looks like Moore around the outside. Could it be the American? Yes, Bob Moore, 41. Chesterfield Yamaha then has it. Demaria back there in third behind Voland. Then Everts chasing those three. But what's Demaria going to do? One race, won quite easily. Demaria, Volan has gone into the lead. Demaria going for the inside pass and sticks it on the American. But the American comes back. But no, the Frenchman holds him off. So it's now Demaria, Voland and Bevorts, the Belgium. Then it's Bob Moore, the American, 41. Then Stefan Everts, number 2. As the remainder, Moira, I think it is 76, battling there with DeWitt. There's Bevorts, shadowing the American Talon Volan. Moore beginning to drop back off the pace just a little bit, falling into the clutches of the Belgian Stefan Everts. There's DeWitt. We seem to have lost Boyer, the German. Boyer, who whole shot in Spain in round 1. A real bulldog of a rider, hangs on there grimly. There is Moore. Not in the top 4 in the championship so far on the overall standards, but Bob Moore, not a man to be counted out. Werner DeWitt, number 6. There is, once again, Boris, 78, beginning to pull back through the pack. Monique Bevorts it is then. Andrew Bartolini and Kurt Nickel, number 5, going through. But a checkered flag for the second time today for the Frenchman. The fly, Yves Demaria then, 2020, 40 points. So with Demaria and Volan here finishing second, Bob Moore came home and finished third. Italy for round 4. Bob Moore comes down onto the line for the start of race 1, and after 3 rounds we've had a 20-20 40-point maximum from 3 different riders. Bevorts winning the first one in Spain, Everts in Holland, and then it was Demaria in Switzerland. But here in Italy, it's the 2 Chesterfield boys that are out in front, Bartolini and Moore. It is Moore leads from Bartolini second. That looked like DeWitt in third. We've got a pile of riders on the first corner. But Bobby Moore Andre Bartolini coping with the conditions. That's Holland back there in 5th at the moment, but it's the two Chesterfields, and it looks like the two Bieffe Suzukis that are in 3rd and 4th, and someone's got all caught up in the rut there, and I think that maybe Stefan Everts has caught behind him. Yes, it is. Everts, bogged down by one of the tail enders, is going to have to work hard for points in this one. Bobby Moore it is then that leads race 1 here in Italy. Bartolini 2nd, then it's Monique Vermorts. 3rd for the first of the two Johnsons and Bieffe Suzukis. There's Bartolini on the Chesterfield Yamaha. There's Vermorts. Looking back, it's DeWitt, Vermorts' teammate, that's behind him. Then it's double-head winner from the previous round, Yves Demarié, behind that group. Track here started off quite wet. It's begun to dry out. Bob Moore hoists the Chesterfield Yamaha over the big jumps. There's Everts slowly picking his way. Oh, he's out, it's off. Everts has gone down, collided with a machine that was on the track. A fallen rider's machine. Everts gone over the jump and no alternative to get off the bike. But nevertheless, he's back on unhurt as the battle continues at the front. And Demarié in determined mood. It's a win then for number 41, Bob Moore. Bartolini chases him home in 2nd place. Demarié finishes 3rd, Chesterfield 1, 2 and 3. Well, as they wind the music up here in Italy for the 2nd race, the gate drops and here they come. It looks like Bartolini that has got the whole shot on the rest. Number 11, Andre Bartolini, the Italian here at his home Grand Prix, but no, because the American Poland has found a way through. Bartolini in 2nd. Bob Moore is in 3rd. Chesterfield looking for another major point scoring session. That's Pedro Tratter 71 behind that group, but it's the American Poland number 8 on the circling Kawasaki that leads race 2 here in Italy. Bartolini, then Moore, he's 3rd. Tratter is 4th. DeWitt 5th. Oh, and Everts and Demarié locking wheels almost. The Frenchman determined to make it another good point score. 3rd from race 2 for Demarié. Can he get further forward? Quite rutted here after the early wet circuit for race 1. But Poland, the American, settles himself down. The Italian Bartolini chases 2nd. Can Andre get up there and take a win? 2nd, oh, they've collided. Demarié collides with, I think it was Bob Moore. Yes, indeed, Demarié hit Bob Moore, gone down on the track. There's Nickel going through. Everts now with Demarié behind him again, and Demarié off the bike yet again in this race and breaking his leg. It was Poland then that took the win, and his first win of the season. Round 5 of the 250 series came here to Austria as the riders lined up for the start of race 1. Talon Boland, the American number 8, leading the championship with 102 points at the moment. And into the lead goes the Italian Andre Bartolini as the rest of them scrap for the lower positions. Stefan Everts going through there with Beda Monet, but it was Bartolini then that led them away here in Austria. Paul Cooper, number 17. There's the championship lead of Poland. Yogi Collison, then Monet, then Nickel, then Everts, then Danny Thabers. There's Bob Moore, 41 going through, the American. So Poland it is that we'll keep our eyes on. There is the American number 8 up the hill. He won the last race at the previous round in Italy, and he leads the championship. What can he do here in Austria? Poland then 8 up the hill. There's Baderman with Kurt Nickel, the British rider, number 5, right in his wheel tracks. The Belgian, Stefan Everts, who previously led the championship, right behind that group. And there's Bob Moore taking the long way round the corner. 83, Byra up the hill. But it is the Italian, Andrea Bartolini, number 11 on the Chesterfield 250 Yamaha that leads. Voland now up into second. Behind Voland, it's number 13, the Swede Joki Karlsson, then Paul Cooper 17, Nickel number 5, and Everts number 2. Bob Moore beginning to close in on that group, number 41. So it's not a bad day so far for the Chesterfield Yamaha. Here comes Andrea Bartolini, and Karlsson now closing on the American Voland. There's Voland. Here comes Karlsson on the old WJ's Honda. Then Nickel on the HRC Honda, number 5. Everts up the inside. Then it's Bob Moore. Andrea Bartolini then taking his first heat win of the 95 250 season. Voland chases him home in second. Then it's Karlsson and then Kurt Nickel.
Talon last week, a super win at Maggiore, Italy. And again, second place today, increasing the championship lead.
Yeah, I'm just going by my strategy. It was obvious that Andrea was going very fast. And I was just being very attention with the first rider ahead of me. I wasn't sure who it was, but I didn't want to make a mistake. And by the time I did get by free and clear, Andrea was too far gone, so I just rode my own pace. I'll take 17 points and see what I can do the next moto.
Heat 1 safely tucked away. Heat 2 gets underway, and Bob Moore looks to have got the whole shot, or has he? That looked like Nickel, indeed it was. The British rider Kurt Nickel on the inside of Moore. Moore is now second. Danny Thabers, and then it's Bartolini, DeWitt, Everts. There is Voland. Into the lead then goes Kurt Nickel, number 5, second. Bob Moore, number 41, on the Chesterfield Yamaha. Needing to salvage some points from this round here in Austria. Can he get past Danny Thabers, number 72? There's Bartolini, winner of Heat 1, and clear winner he was. Moore has now gone up into the lead. Where is Nickel? Off the bike, I suspect, and Bartolini goes to second. Thabers third, DeWitt fourth. There's Everts behind him. But Bob Moore it is. If he wins here today, this will be his second heat win of the season. Bartolini, his teammate, behind him in second spot. There's Werner DeWitt, number 6. The first of the two BFE Johnson Suzuki riders. Bob Moore down the hill he comes, turns into the left-hander to go back up the other side. He takes the checkered flag. Bob Moore then wins Heat 2 here in Austria. Second, Andrea Bartolini, and the overall result, and third for Werner DeWitt and Suzuki. Round 6 of the championship comes to Finland, and with the successes at the previous round for the Chesterfield Yamaha squad, can they do the same here at this finished track? Well, they got underway through the big water splash on the start into that left-hander as they saw themselves out, quite dusty as you can see, and it was Monique Bavorts that got the whole shot. But Werner DeWitt found a way past his teammate. DeWitt goes to first. Then Bavorts, Voland third. Everts was in there as well as the rest come charging through. But Werner DeWitt, number 6, leads here in Finland, Heat 1. His teammate Bavorts is second. Then it's Voland with his teammate Everts right behind him in 4th place. The German pit fire number 61, chasing Everts. Then it's Bartolini Then it's Remy van Vries with the British rider Kurt Nickel tucked right in behind him. But the battle was on at the front between the two Suzuki Johnson's Biepi runners, De Witt and Bevort. Then we had the battle between the two JHK Silkely Kawasaki runners, Boland and Everts. Very much a team affair at the moment, but De Witt it is that has the better of them all. He leads. Teammate Bevort's behind him. Then behind Bevort's, it was Talon Boland and still Stefan Everts, unable to find a way past his teammate. Remember, it's Boland that leads the World Championship at the moment. Vira, the German, hangs on grimly. Reese drops back. Nickel has gone past him. Nickel now right behind Andre Bartolini. There's Leon Gisbert. The riders picking their way tentatively through the ruts here in this Finnish circuit. Pedro Tractor just gone through. There's Bob Moore. Not a good ride for him so far. Way down the field. The two RWJ's runners going through Colson and Herring, but we're back at the front, and it's now Monique Bevort's that leads. De Witt relegated down to second position, so the team orders certainly don't apply here. And Everts has gone up into third. Boland has gone to fourth, so we've seen changes from first to fourth. There's Bevort's decided he'd had enough of sitting behind his teammate, has gone into the lead. De Witt still chases him second. Now can Everts catch De Witt number 6? There's De Witt gone through. Here comes Everts. I don't think he can unless De Witt makes a mistake. There's the American Boland, the championship leader. Some of the tail enders coming through. We're looking, oh, that was Byra. That's who we were looking for, number 61. Very nearly wasn't on the bike there for Bit Byra, the German. And Bartolini has retired from this race. Machinery problems, Bartolini, a non-finisher. Our win then for Monique Bevort, number 4. Teammate Werner De Witt chased him home second, and Stefan Everts, the Belgian, finishing in third position. Heat 2 on the line. We're waiting for the gate to drop. Can Bevort's make it 2 in a row? Already done it once this season, the opening round in Spain. Can he do it again here in Finland? Oh, everybody on the floor there, falling over each other. Well, that's Leon Gisbert, one of the riders that's gone down, number 70, but it is Talon Boland, the American, that goes to the front. De Witt and Bevort's in front of him, so the two Suzuki's up in the top 3 yet again. Stefan Everts just going through. Pedro Tractor, number 71, picking his way past the slower riders, but it is number 6, Werner De Witt, that leads from Boland, from Bevort, and Byra, the German. He's in there again. De Witt leading from his teammates. In third place with the American sandwich between them. So Boland second, Bevort's third, then Byra fourth. And this German, dogged determination at the moment, refusing to lay back. Suzuki leads then in the shape of Werner De Witt, Bevort's, then Boland. So the two Suzuki's now 1 and 2. Boland relegated to third. Here comes Byra. The German determined to move up a place. Number 17, Paul Cooper on the SoCal Honda. Good race for Cooper. Here's number 23, that's Mark Eastwood, another one of the British riders. That's a good position for him so far. Stefan Everts, number 2 there behind him. Everts having an appalling start in this Finnish race. And Kurt Nickel also, a very poor start for him behind Bob Moore, number 41. But it's Werner De Witt that leads then. His teammates, Monique Bevort's. Talon Boland, number 8, still the championship leader. This is round 6 here in Finland. There is Byra on the Honda and really going for it. Paul Cooper, 17. One of his better races so far this season. Mark Eastwood having a good race as well, but he's now got Stefan Everts behind him. One more with Kurt Nickel right on his tail, so a battle between the HRC Honda and the Chesterfield Yam. DeWitt's been off, his teammate Bevorts takes the win, 20 points. Round 7 of the championship came to Sweden. Marnik Bevorts on that. The Iffy Johnson Suzuki. Top dog at the moment. Overall win at the first round in Spain and an overall win in Finland. Can he do it again here in Sweden? It's DeWitt 6th then that leads race 1. Bartolini 2nd. May 3rd. Looks like Bob Moore in 4th. So the two Chesterfield Yamahas up there in the moment in the top 4. There's Bartolini, there's Malay, there's Moore, Bevorts, Evans and Byra with Boland, and Byra gets past Boland, elbows his way through. Dogged determination from the little German. Gisbert's going through, there's Nickel just gone through. Bob Moore it is then that's gone into the lead, he's found a way through. DeWitt down into 2nd, Bartolini now 3rd. Is this going to be a Chesterfield 1 and 2? There's Bevorts, there's Everts, there's Boland, and Byra back behind Boland again. Moore leads then, he's in trouble, he's been off the bike, look at the back of the machine. He's lost his front brake, Bob Moore gallantly rides on, but it's his teammate, Andre Bartolini, that goes into the lead. And Monique Bevorts now goes to 2nd, Everts is 4th. Gets totally filled in there as he goes over the jump, but it's Bartolini, Bevorts, now Everts, and Moore. Gamely hangs on. Can he salvage a few points from this? DeWitt, Byra and Boland. Once again, the German has got past the American. There's Carlson, number 13, on the RWJ's Honda. Everts up into 2nd. Chasing the leader, number 4 on the Suzuki, Marnik Bevorts. And can he catch him before the checkered flag? Everts, there he is, number 2 on the bike. Andre Bartolini, number 11, the first of the two Chesterfield Yamaha men in 3rd. And Everts is closing on Bevorts as they get tangled in amongst the back markers. There's Bevorts, but he takes the checkered. Everts finishes 2nd. And 3rd, and a well-earned wash, Andre Bartolini. Top 3 on the podium then. Monique Bevorts, Stefan Everts, Andre Bartolini. And the rain came down for the start of the 2nd heat. It absolutely chucked it down here, making the track surface very, very slippery and very treacherous. As you can see as they come in to that first corner, it's Bartolini on the inside, Boland is there as well. They all safely get through, but look at these conditions. The Belgian Stefan Everts leads. It's Bevorts back in 2nd, Nickel is 3rd. Boland going through, and you can see by the conditions, very difficult to pick the riders out. Bob Moore, number 41, there's his teammate Bartolini with Tractor, number 71 behind him. But Stefan Everts decided it's easier to stay out in front and stay clean. Monique Bevorts then, winner of race 1 in 2nd place. Behind him, the British rider, number 5, Kurt Nickel, more at home in these wet, slippery conditions. Then Talon Boland at number 8, as they pick their way gingerly through the ruts. It's very slippery, very treacherous. Carlson just going through, Bob Moore behind him. That's Paul Cooper, number 17 on the SoCal Honda, going through. and out with an engine failure. That's Coulson. The engine has decided to give up. The checkered flag goes out then to Stefan Everts. Literally led from the start to the finish. Marnik Bevorts chases him home in second place. So the overall result goes to Everts with a win and a second. Kurt Nickel comes home in third spot. Round 8 of the championship, and an unusual round it was because it was the first ever double-header staged here in the UK. The 250s and 125s together. The 250s got underway for the start of their first heat. Just listen to the crowd. It was Kurt Nickel, number 5, and his home Grand Prix that led them away in Heat 1. Bevorts in amongst that group. Oh, and the two Chesterfield men, Moore and Bartolini, touching. It really was a spectacular event here in the UK. 25,000 plus fans turning up. Stefan Everts going into the lead. Talon Boland, his teammate, chasing in second place. Then Nickel relegated down to third. Byron behind him fourth. Then DeWitt and then Bevorts. It was a spectacular race. Stefan Everts. Boland up the big hills here at the Fox Hills Motor Park in Wiltshire in England. The battle was on between the two Bieffy Johnson Suzukis, but the Chesterfield boys, Moore and Bartolini, certainly hadn't finished racing for the day. They battled wheel to wheel right throughout the race. Stefan Everts, who had won here before at international level, came here with the Grand Prix with only one thing on his mind, and that was to win. But look at Byra, the German, all over Kurt Nickel, the British rider. And the British fans urging on their hero. Nickel, 5 times national champion. Everts down the hills. Very steep hills here in England. The American Talon Boland can only chase in second place. And Byra still hounding the back of Nickel's HRC Honda. Behind those group, that was Marnik Bevorts, but it is Everts at the moment that's showing everybody the pace around the circuit. Boland with Nickel beginning to close on him, being urged on by the crowd, but the German, Pip Bora, refusing to be shrugged off. Stefan Everts then comes around to take a win in Heat 1 and the 20 points. Talon Boland chased him all the way home for second place. Byron was and eventually finished third with Nickel finishing fourth. Heat 2 go on to the line as they charge down into the right-hander. Who this time was it going to be that takes the whole shot? The British crowd and the fans going wild as Nickel does it again. Kurt Nickel, number 5, heads the rest of the pack. Everts behind him in second. Boland is there with the boards, and then Bartolini amongst that group. Nickel leading. The air horns sounding and resounding through the valleys here at the Fox Hills Motor Park. But then Everts decided enough was enough. He went past Nickel and took the lead. Nickel down the second, and then Boland made a mistake at the bottom corner in a rut. The bike pitched him off, dropped him down several places. Stefan Everts, his teammate, unaware of what's going on behind him, just decided to clear off and leave the rest to fight for the scraps. Nickel second, and here comes that German, once again 61 Byra, with DeWitt right behind him. Can Nickel hold off Byra for a podium position at the end of the day? That's what the crowd wanted. Nickel's home Grand Prix, can he finish up on the rostrum? Look at Byra closing once again on the British rider. Nickel on the HRC with a new engine fitted, tested for a whole week prior to this event as Byra goes through on the inside of Nickel. Here comes the race leader, Stefan Everts, looking for a 2020 maximum points of 40. Byra then in front of Nickel now. Where is Nickel? There he is third. The battle certainly was on between those two. Fourth place for DeWitt, unable to catch the two in front. Then Bartolini, and last shaking off his teammate Botmore. But Stefan Everts down the hills, through the valleys, over the jumps, and the British fans absolutely adore the Belgian rider. 22 years of age, on course for his second World Championship possibly. Here he is, 2 wins, 40 points. He wins the overall. Nicol finished third. Talon Volan, but it was Volan then that got out of the gate first here in Ireland. Through the whoopie-doo section, which was quite controversial. Volan, it is then from Viepi Suzuki number 6, Werner de Wit, Byra, then Bavorts, then it was Botmore. All hopes resting on the shoulders of the British rider Kurt Nicol, but at the moment buried a little bit further down in the pack. But Volan, the American, decided to make amends for his upset in England. Stefan Everts, the double-headed scorer from the previous round in Great Britain. But Volan, his teammate, going for a whole handful of roll-off. Round the outside comes Botmore. England and Ireland, always favourite tracks for Botmore. Always has ridden well in the past here. So far having to work hard for his points. Byra going through. Botmore riding great at the moment, just passing Werner de Wit. But Byra, from his successes from the previous round in England, absolutely on a high at the moment. More. With de Wit still chasing him. And then it's his teammate Bavorts, and there's Nicol, gradually beginning to pick his way past the riders. But Volan leads, the German Byra. Now it's Moore. Third spot for him at the moment, the American. The front two go through. We pick up third place man once again, Botmore. Absolutely on a high here. Nicol beginning to catch the pace of the ones in front. Bavorts beginning to drop back just slightly. A little detuned from his big get-off in the second race in the British Grand Prix. And the battle is certainly on at the front because the American Volan has got the German breathing all over the rear end of that Kawasaki. And Byra's gone through. Volan now relegated the second and Moore in third, looking to get past the American in front. De Wit. Nicol in front of him. There's De Wit's teammate Bavorts. There's Pedro Tractor 71. So Nicol on the gas, beginning to pick his way nearer to the front, but it's Byra looking to take his first heat win of the season. This Irish Murphy Stout sponsored Grand Prix. There's Volan then second. Here comes Moore, still third. A big handful of gas from the German, Byra. I think he's been on the Irish Murphy Stout before this race. Absolutely possessed. Moore has gone up into second. Volan is now third. Next man along will be number 5, and there he is, Kurt Nicol. Here comes the checkered flag, then the German for his first Grand Prix heat win of the season. Pit Byra, number 61, 20 points. Second place then for Kurt Nicol, and third for Talon Volan. P2 on the line, Nicol looking to get a good start. Everts beside him, then Bavorts, then number 9, Frederic Mollet, the French youngster. And it was De Wit and Nicol, Bavorts, Everts on the inside, Volan on the outside of him. Mollet was amongst that group. And it is Kurt Nicol, the British rider here in Ireland, that has taken the lead in Heat 2. Can he take the overall result? He was third overall in Great Britain. Can he go 2 better and make it an overall first here in Ireland? Through those Very controversial whoops they went. That's where Andre Bartolini crashed in practice, has a suspected broken collarbone. And there's Byra right alongside Stefan Everts. He takes him. The leader, still Kurt Nickel. De Witt, the Belgian, still right behind him as they go through those controversial whoops. Just look at Boland. Oh, that was very nearly an off for someone. Nickel winding through and Byra goes up into second. Boland relegated third. It's Everts now fourth. We've lost De Witt. But Kurt Nickel comes around then to take his first heat win of the season. Nickel takes the overall result here in Ireland. And Byra comes home second. Everts comes home in third.
Well done, Kurt. England, Kurt Nickel!
Round 10 of the championship comes to Belgium with just 5 rounds left to go after this one. It's still Stefan Everts that heads the championship as the first heat lines up, the gate drops and they get underway. Into that first series of corners, and it was the Johnson BFE Suzuki that led the pack away. Number 6, Werner De Witt, yet again, Everts chases him. Then it's Nickel. So Stefan Everts now has gone into the lead as Nickel goes to the inside of De Witt and takes him. Everts, here at his home Grand Prix in Belgium, needs to win in front of his adoring crowds, and Everts begins to pull a cap on the British rider number 5, Kurt Nickel, rejuvenated from his overall win in Ireland. Then the two Suzukis, De Witt and the Lords. Then number 90, that's Byra. Everts it is then, 20 points, Heat 1 winner. The crowd adore this young man. Heat 2 then, the gate drops, here they go. Who will it be? Can Everts make it another 2020? And it is Everts then, Everts from Belfort, from Roland Evans' teammate. Stefan Everts, rejuvenated, he won in Great Britain. He's on course to win here at his home Grand Prix in Belgium. That's the fellow Belgian behind him. Then number 71, Pedro Tractor, he's a Dutchman. Then Talon Voland in fourth, number 8, the American. Stefan Everts, supreme as always, dominant at his home Grand Prix. Monique Bevorts right behind him. Bevorts already taking 2 overall wins in the season. Everts just about to do that as well. Ooh, very nearly off for Bevorts there. Back end of the bike kicks out. Pedro Tractor then, number 71 in third. Chesterfield Suzuki. Then the British rider, Kurt Nickel, number 5 on that HRC kitted Honda. And it is Monique Bevorts that's gone into the lead, spoiling the chances of Stefan Everts taking the overall. Bevorts leading Everts. Who is going to make the checkered flag first? Ooh, very nearly off once again from Bevorts. Can Everts find a way past him before the checkered? The home fans going absolutely wild here, and one can only expect it at your home Grand Prix. Monique Bevorts deciding he wants to win the second heat of the day. Stefan Everts can only do but sit and watch. The crowd going mad as Everts tries a little poke on the inside. Has he got him this time up the top? Is Everts going to take the lead? Yes, he does. Stefan Everts, Monique Bevorts relegated back to second, and I think that's where it's going to stay if Everts has anything to do with it. Bevorts has shown his steel. Everts has decided he wants a maximum points. Pedro Tractor still circulating comfortably. Third place, number 71 on the Chesterfield Suzuki. It's Stefan Everts then. The overall win goes to Everts here at his home Grand Prix in Belgium. And the party will certainly start now. Monique Bevorts win his home in second place. And Bavort sits here, the sheer exhaustion of the effort that went into that second race beginning to show. Kurt Nickel, disappointed, can see the championship slipping away with only 5 rounds left to go. The crowd love him. Stefan Everts then the overall result winner here in Belgium. Round 11 of the championship here in Venezuela, with Stefan Everts extending his championship lead over his teammate Talon Boland. Nickel back in 4th in the championship as Heat 1 gets underway, and it looks like Boland has taken the whole shot. Yes, indeed, the American Talon Boland away in the lead with the Suzuki of Monique Bavort's chasing in 2nd place. There's Nickel. There is Evans, the championship leader. Bartolini back after the injury in Ireland. It wasn't a broken collarbone after all. But Talon Boland on a mission at the moment. Monique Bavort still chasing in 2nd place. Bavort's taking 2 overall results so far in the season. Can he get past Boland and get himself on course, possibly for a 3rd to equal Everts' record? He's taken 3 at the moment, and he has. So Bavort goes into the lead. Boland drops back to 2nd. The Johnsons, BFE Suzuki, certainly on course. Pedro Tractor trailing back there in 3rd, then Kurt Nickel, then Stefan Everts is in there as well. Pitborough, the German, amongst that group, and we've seen what he can do. Certainly dogged, determined rider is Borough. One would only expect him to be somewhere up in the top 3 or 4 at the finish of this race. As they pick their way through the sand here, there's Stefan Everts. He's got Kurt Nickel behind him. There is Byra, Nickel's arch rival at the moment at Grand Prix level. Those two battling corner to corner. So it's Bavort's then that takes the win in Heat 1. Boland chased him home in 2nd. Heat 2 down onto the line. Can Bavort's do it again? He's taken 2 overall results so far this year. Can he make it 3? Nickel up there in 2nd. As they sort themselves out, it's Nickel then that leads. Boland behind him in 2nd, then Bavort's, then Byra, and here comes Everts. Leads the championship, doesn't have to win races now to take the overall result at the end of the championship, but I'm sure he'll try. Bavort's going through. Now past Nickel, there's Byra behind him. So those two beginning to mix it again. Nickel out of the lead, dropping down the field slightly. Kurt Nickel seeing those potential championship points dropping away. Byron is then leads the German on course for maybe his 2nd heat win of the season. Bavort's under pressure now from Kurt Nickel. Nickel needs as many points as he can get. The battle is certainly on. There's Boland, and he's got Byra behind him. So Boland now leads, Byra's 2nd. So this 1st position swapping lap after lap after lap. But Boland has taken Heat 2, the checkered flag then. Byra chases him home in 2nd place, 17 points. 3rd then for the Belgium championship leader, number 2, Stefan Everts. And it was hot here in Venezuela. Round 12 of the championship came to Poland. Talon Voland taking the overall result in Venezuela. Can he do something about his teammate Stefan Everts' championship lead here? Up the hill they come. On the inside, it's Kurt Nickel. Oh, is that Byron that's gone down? There is Nickel leading from Marnik Bavorts, and Nickel fired up for this one. Bartolini back there in third, but it's Bavorts then that's gone into the lead. Nickel down to second. Bartolini third, Pedro Tractor fourth, Everts fifth. And that's Carlson, the Swede, on the Honda behind that group. The first two going through, it's still Bavorts and Nickel. And Nickel desperately needing to score maximum points, if at all he can. Bartolini going through, now Everts behind him, then Carlson chasing those two. Talon Voland, not a good start for the American. Any chance of catching his runaway teammate at the moment in the championship, he's going to have to start winning. Nickel comfortable in second. He's got Bartolini, the Italian, behind him. Then Stefan Everts chasing the Italian. But the Belgian, Marnik Bavorts, once again leads a 250 Grand Prix leg, having to take on the responsibility in the BFE Johnson Suzuki squad with the departure of Greg Albertine, last year's world champion, to America. Jockey Carlson, number 13 on the RWJ's Honda, but the checkered flag then goes out to Marnik Bavorts, 20 points from Heat 1. Second for Britain's Kurt Nickel. Third then for Belgium's Stefan Everts. Well, the party gets underway between the races as Heat 2 gets off the line. Who this time will it be that gets that hole shot? It looks like a Suzuki. Is it Bavorts? Yes! Marnik Bavorts then leads Heat 2. Here in Poland, can he make this another 2020 win? Pedro Tractor there behind him, then Carlson. A good ride from the Swede. There's Nickel, there's Everts. There is Voland. Paul Cooper 17 just going through, Bartolini on the inside. But I think Pedro Tractor, the Dutchman, has aspirations of winning this second heat. He's second, chasing Bavorts as they come through. Voland winding up that JHK Silkeling Kawasaki. Trying to squeeze every inch of power out of the 250 engine. But Chesterfield Suzuki chasing by Iffy Johnson Suzuki at the moment in the shape of Pedro Tractor chasing Marnik Bavorts. Everts going through, high flyers over the big jumps. Bavorts, we're looking back for Tractor. There he is, beginning to close on the Belgium. Carlson, number 13, one of his best rides so far. They scream through. There's Everts. And here, once again, the leader. Winning race 1. Is he going to win race 2? They pick their ways gingerly past the slower back markers. That's when things can all go wrong for the race leaders. Pedro Tractor, second place, 71 on the bike. And out goes Talon Voland. He's got a problem of some kind. Voland has retired from his second heat. But it's a win then for number 4, Marnik Bavorts. That's the third double-head heat win that he's had, equaling Stefan Everts' record. 3 overall results they have had with maximum points from each heat. There is Everts coming home in third place. Comes to Germany. A change at the top of the championship. Everts leads. Now Marnik Bavorts goes into second place. And a lead here for number 13, the Swede, Joachim Carlson. as they sort themselves out, and the welcome return to the racing for number 41, Bob Moore. But Moore finding things just a little bit hectic back in the fray with the 250 Grand Prix boys. Loses the bike in the opening lap. Remounts to continue. Stefan Everts trialling his way through with Pit Byron behind him. But Carlson it is that leads his first Grand Prix of the year, his first Grand Prix leg. The board's behind him. There's Bartolini. Then Tractor. And Vervoorts it is. So comfortable at the moment. Bartolini goes to second, Tractor third, and then Kurt Nickel fourth. Nickel currently fourth in the championship. And Stefan Evans looking so relaxed back there in fifth place. Seems to be totally unhurried. Vervoorts second in the championship, chasing Evans for the title. Bartolini and Pedro Tractor, a little bit of a late charge of the Dutchman. Nickel going through. Behind Nickel, it's still Stefan Everts. Taking life very, very easy at the moment. They get that last lap board as they come around. They're all charging now for those precious few points, and Everts beginning to close on Nickel. That looked like his front disc guard that just fell off the Kawasaki. So Vervoorts once again wins. Chased home by Bartolini, and Everts came through past Nickel and Tractor on the last lap to take third. Heat 2 then, down on the line, and Vervoorts do it again. He gets out of the starting blocks pretty quickly. Into that first corner, and it is once again Marnik Vervoorts. What a whole shot artist he really is. Marnik Vervoorts and the Belgium on the AFE Suzuki, the Johnson Suzuki leads. Byra and Nickel, and all on the inside of Nickel. When Everts and, well, it's all sort of carnage here at the moment. Nickel tangling with another rider, that will really ruin his chances of a top three placing. Everts coming through, still chasing the German Byra, but Vervoorts out in the lead, grabbing as many points as he can, beginning to close that gap between himself, second in the championship, Stefan Everts who leads. Everts looking for a way past the German, and he's found it. Here's the leader, Marnik Vervoorts, on course for 20 points. Now Everts up into second place. Byra relegated down to third. Andre Bartolini now basically flying the flag for Chesterfield Yamaha. One more racing back here again today. There he is. Demaria, one of the Chesterfield riders who won't be racing for the rest of the season with a broken leg. So Everts it is that came home in second. Nickel was third, and Vervoorts wins again. Round 14 of the championship, across the seas to Japan. And the Japanese organising a superb Grand Prix as they always do. Stefan Everts, the championship leader, right behind his nearest rival, Marnik Vervoorts, but it was Bartolini who shot off into the lead. Vervoorts back there in fourth place behind Pedro Tractor. Nickel going through, but Bartolini, the Italian, deciding he wants a little bit of glory at the front. Poland behind him, then Tractor, then Vervoorts, and then Everts. And Bartolini riding with a bad stomach, a little bit of food poisoning. Same as his teammate Bob Moore, both feeling very much under the weather at the moment, but that's not stopping Bartolini. The Italian on course at the moment for 20 points. Number 11. Poland, the American, back after injury. Vervoorts, then Tractor, and then Stefan Everts. Byra, the German, going through. Then Nickel, the British rider, number 5. The American Voland goes into the lead. The Italian Bartolini now down to second. Everts up to third, and Bevort's down to fourth. Myra in fifth, and there Yves de Maurier with Tractor behind him, and de Maurier on the gas. Back after quite a long layoff with that injury, but he's trying to pick up some points to help his championship cause for next year. Through the whoops they go. Bartolini behind Bevort's, with Byra behind Bartolini. De Maurier has gone into the lead. Yves de Maurier back with a vengeance. Voland and then Everts in third. Well, the Frenchman really deciding to make his mark once again in World 250 Grand Prix racing. Tipped at the beginning of the season to be one of the major contenders, but that leg break that he got from round 4 put him out, but he won here in Japan. Everts finishes second. Voland, his teammate, follows him home in third. Monique Bevort's finishing fourth. And Bevort's suffering with a front wheel problem from that race. Very hot, as you can see. Consulting with his mechanic, Stefan Everts, being interviewed by the local Japanese television company. Heat 2 then, down onto the line. Frederick Bollet, number 9, on the inside. Who's going to get the whole shot this time? Is it going to be Bevort's? No, the answer is de Maurier, Bartolini and Everts, top 3, Tractor. Paul Cooper 17 just going through, and there's Kurt Nickel just barging his way through just before the whoops. But de Maurier is back, the fly back on Paul Chat. He's out to make this a double header. The rest of them can fight for the points. Van Ries, 67, just going through. But here's de Maurier, number 3, on the Chesterfield Yamaha, sponsored by Oxbow Clothing. Championship leader, Stefan Everts, the Belgium, just has to score points. Kurt Nickel trying to salvage the championship. But de Maurier off in the front of everyone. No one's going to catch him. Least of all, number 11, Andre Bartolini, the Italian. Neither is Stefan Everts, but I suspect that Everts is riding for points. Doesn't need to win the races. He's got a comfortable championship lead, on course for his first 250 crown, if all goes well. Pedro Tractor picking up some late points in the championship. Cooper, number 17, the British rider, with Talon Voland behind him. There's Monique Bevort's, that championship chance slipping away even more here in Japan. De Maurier with a broken back wheel. Yves de Maurier goes out of race 2. Stefan Everts then inherits the lead. Andre Bartolini takes now second. Pedro Tractor, number 71, on the Chesterfield Suzuki, now moves up into third spot. Cruel luck for the Frenchman de Maurier, that back wheel breaking up on him. There's Bevort's. Moves up a position with Cooper behind him, and Cooper just skips through the whoops. But it's Everts then that wins the second heat here in Japan. 28 points now in the lead in the championship here at the penultimate round. Just one left to go in France, and yes, the photographers are snapping away because I think we're looking at the new World 250 motocross champion. Monique Bevort's still with a slim chance of taking that championship away from Stefan Everts, but nevertheless, I think that's our new champion. Round 15 and the last round of the 250 championship. The razzmatazz, as always, here in France. The pom-pom girls and Stefan Everts contemplates what he needs to do. Monique Bevort's also contemplating. Bevorts needs Everts to have a DNF in race 1, and he needs to win race 1 to put it all on the wire for race 2. We'll wait and see. Robbie Herring right there beside Stefan Everts. The gate drops for the penultimate time of the year, and somebody's gone down. That was Herring, I think, that's gone down. He tangled with Everts. Well, the drama really beginning to open up. In the lead then, the American talent Holland with Bob Moore in second place. Moore back after injury, trying to salvage a point position. Pedro Tractor back there in third. The Dutchman really coming alive near the end of the championship. Now where is Bevorts? And the answer is there. Now where is Everts? Skaven Hills 22 goes through. We're looking back down the circuit, and the answer now is Stefan Everts is behind Monique Bevorts. Now, if Bevorts can finish quite a way in front of Everts, it's going to go to the last race. The battlers on at the front. Bob Moore going for the race lead. He's got it, the two Americans together. Boland and Moore, and Bob Moore going back to 125 to 1996. He's the last race in the 250 group for this year. He's the last race on 250s. 37th, Thierry Bethis here at his home Grand Prix, the only Grand Prix that he rode this year. And a battle beginning to develop behind. Oh, that's Bevorts. He looks to be slowing. He's been off the bike. Look at the dirt on his back. Monique Bevorts has been down. Here comes Everts. Stefan Everts just has to score a small amount of points. Bob Moore decided he wants to make this last race, penultimate last race of his 250 career, one worth remembering. He wants to win it. And that is Bevorts. He's been off again. Monique Bevorts. The machine is probably well damaged by this point. Bob Moore on course at the moment for a win, with his countryman, fellow countryman Talon Boland behind him. And the news is that Monique Bevorts has pulled out of the race, which means the Belgian, the 22-year-old on the JHK Silkeling Kawasaki, here he is the new World 250cc Motocross Championship. He doesn't even have to finish the race, but I'm sure he will. Stefan Everts then is without a doubt the new 250 world champion. 125 world champion, now 250 world champion. All the rest need to do now is scrap for the remaining points. Everts. That's Paul Cooper, 17 down the hill, the British rider. Here he is, the new world champion, just taking it nice and easy. The crowd urging him on, but there's no real need. With Bevorts out of the race, it's going to be the very first world championship for Kawasaki. Bob Moore then comes home to win the penultimate race of the day. Pedro Tractor comes home to finish second. Stefan Everts then comes home to the applause of the crowd, and he will be mobbed by the press now. The race isn't even over, but he's being mobbed. The new world champion. 3 years he's tried to make this, and he's done it in the fourth. Belgium World 250 champion, 22 years of age, Stefan Everts. Kawasaki win at last their first world championship. And no doubt the partying and the celebrations will go on for many, many hours to come. A dream come true, and he's worked hard for it, and so justly deserves it. Still one race left to go. Everts doesn't even have to ride. There's Monique Bevorts. He will be second in the championship. He tried so hard. Everts looks about himself, waves to a few of his friends. Absolutely mobbed by the press and the cameramen. Stefan Everts following in the footsteps of his famous father, Harry Everts. 2 world champions in the family, a drink of champagne. Everybody wants to shake the hand of the new 250 motocross world champion. I don't think he knows what to say. Pat on the shoulder by his mechanic. Mechanic of one of the other JHK team riders. It really is a day to remember. Well, Heat 2 got underway, and it was Beira that led them, number 61, the German, with Bartolini and then Moore, then Boland, and then Rob Herring, number 12. Then it was Nickel. They're still chasing those few extra points to make up their championship positions at the end of the year. Bartolini into the lead. Beira now down into second place. Boland. Everts going through, the new world champion. Bob Moore dropping back. He's got problems with his front forks. They're beginning to break up. There's Nickel going through. He's on target for a possible 4th place in the World Championship standings. There's Herring then, number 12. Been a bad year for Robbie Herring. Hasn't been scoring consistent points. Beira, the little bulldog, the German, has given Kurt Nickel something to think about during the season, that's for sure. Bob Moore struggling with those front forks. He's got Nickel behind him and Pedro Tractor. The American, his last ride in the 250 ranks, going back to 125 for next year, is Bob Moore, where he became a world champion, and I'm hoping he does it again. One of the most likeable characters you could ever meet in world motocross racing. Stefan Everts then beginning to showboat for the crowd, the new champion, crowned. Talon Boland gets the bike sideways. Got Kurt Nickel chasing him at the moment. Here comes Beira then. He eventually got through. He takes a win in the last race of the year. Second place then for number 11, the Italian Andre Bartolini. He looks over his shoulder. Everts comes home in 3rd.
It's been a long day for you today?
Especially the first race has been very long.
It seemed a lot more than 40 minutes.
Yeah, the first half of the race was pretty good, but then after, when I knew that Manek was out of the race, it was a very long race. Every lap was like, yeah, like 10 minutes or 1 hour.
And the fans at the end were ecstatic. It was the biggest reception, I think, for many years.
Yeah, I knew the moment that Manek was out of the race that I was already champion, but I just wanted to finish the race for my fans and all the other people who was waiting for me at the finish line. That was, I never had that moment, you know. The first one I had was in Japan, so not those, my fans could not be there, but like here it was different. So I just wanted to go over that finish line, and it was a very nice feeling.
And next week, Motocross Des Nations, that's one as well you would surely love to win.
Yeah, sure, we try many years and we never succeed. Hopefully we can do it this year. I think we have a good team. I did all the year some practice with the 125. Not that I wanted to ride the 125 in the Des Nations, but just out of interest and just for practice and everything. But with Smets, he's the champion. I am, and Moniki is second. I think we have a good team.
Well, we wish you luck next week, but for now, 1995 World 250 champion. Last year and the year before, did you ever think it would never happen?
Yeah, after 3 years, you know, you think always had bad luck I had, you know. I think, do I have a good year? But usually after bad years, you get good years, and after good years, you get bad years. So it has to happen one year, and it happened this year. I'm very happy.
Well, congratulations, and we look forward to watching you race at the Motocross Des Nations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stefan. Thanks, Seth. Monique, by any standards, a very successful season, although not so much success today.
No, today it was really unlucky for me. I had 2 hole shots actually, and first heat I crashed in the second lap, I think, on a little double, and I couldn't find my rhythm anymore, and the handlebars were bended, and it was over for me. And then I was thinking, second heat I want to win, and I had the hole shot again, but Yves de Maria came. He passed me straight away, and we hit each other a little bit, and I went into the tires, and I crashed in the second corner already. Came back to 14th, well, but I was not motivated anymore.
Motivation. Motocross Des Nations always seem to motivate you. Are you and the team looking forward to next week?
Yeah, for sure. If we don't win it this year, we never win it. I mean, we have 2 world champions and 1 vice world champion, so if we don't win it now, then I don't know.
Any secret to beating the Americans?
Just race and win it. I think it's the most important thing.
And looking back at your season, a complete season, some hard luck, but you're still pleased to be number 2?
Yeah. I won 4 Grand Prix, and before in my career, I just won 2 Grand Prix in 7 years or something. So I'm really happy with that. And I had some problems this year with mechanical problems, but it was unlucky problems, you know. It's nothing to do with the bike or something. And yeah, life goes on, and I'll do my best next year.
Well, thanks for entertaining us this year. You put in some great performances, and we look forward to next week when hopefully you can beat the Americans.
I hope so. I hope that Stefan and Joe Smets can motivate them really good, because they are world champion, and then the motivation is going away a little bit. But I hope they can do it, and then we can win that thing.
Well, good luck. Thank you.